Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to have to divide these into multiple movies. This particular movie, I'm just going to be talking about the layer adjustments. I'm going to be talking about simple color correction. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into talking about type in the next movie. So these movies are going to be progressive. So when we left in the last movie, you remember that we had two layers here. What I did when I closed out the other movie is I double clicked on this, and what I wanted to do is I needed to unlock it. And so the way you do that, you double click on it, and what it'll allow you to do is to rename it. And I just want, sometimes you might end up in the background layer, and if it's locked, you may not be able to actually affect it. Example like right now, okay, layer is locked. So what we want to do is I'm going to make sure that that particular layer is unlocked, and I'm naming it background layer. Now, the other thing that I like to do is create a layer just so I have an original copy of my photograph, because like I said, I'm going to go back and I am going to do a little bit of color correcting. I'm going to turn it off by turning off the eyeball. And the eyeball, if I want to affect a layer, the eyeball, and you see this blue-gray, this needs to be in sync with one another. Like I can turn off this layer, but this layer is still the active layer. So what I want to do is I want to make sure it's the layer, I can see it. So I see the eyeball, and I want to know that I'm affecting it, and so now I have this blue-gray background. The way I adjust colors is you could do a simple color adjustment, and that would be basically down here, adjustment, and if I look for it, what you're going to find is, well, look at that, they changed this quite a bit. Well, so what I'm going to do is my way. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to first go to layers, and this middle bar right here, this affects the highlight area, okay? And this affects the shadows. So I'm making it very, very contrasty at this moment. Okay, maybe go a little bit more this way. And now what I'm going to do is bring up this side just to brighten up those highlights. Okay, so we have, this is the midtones, right? This is the shadows. And these are the highlights. You can see I can make it really washed out if I choose. And in fact, I am going to choose it. Okay, I'm going to say OK. Now, let's go ahead and turn on the layer above it. And now you notice that nothing's happened. But what I can do is I can work with the layer adjustments, and I can multiply. And when I multiply, what happens is it kind of melds the two layers together. I can adjust the opacity so I can kind of have the best of both worlds. Or what we could do is we could go to screen. Okay, now again, I can adjust the opacity, and so I could, turn off the effects entirely. Okay, and I can experiment a little bit. What about color dodge? Let's see what happens there. Whoa, that's too much, way too much. So I'm going to go back to my multiply because I think that's where I really want to be. It's nice and contrasty, but so now I have the two layers that are kind of working together. So right now I'm happy with this for the moment. So I'm going to save this movie, and then I'm going to come back, and I think what I'm going to do is some other effects, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put in some type.